exactly. This jump right now into Agent Select to see if we're going to see surprises, and Click is not going to be playing on that Neon. We're going to have... Carol, is this 2021? What are these comps? Where are the new agents? Guys, we have so many new things.
Uli's never going to live this down. This man's going to be like, I predicted.
You sure I say it? I was talking about it and it was me. Obviously, it was me. I just predicted it was playing anyway. I never say Yoru, I say Jet.
Yeah, what do we make though of BBL deciding to start on the defense? Maybe looking at those retakes and whatnot.
I'm not mad, to be honest. I trust in them on the defense. Again, talking about the Magnum on the Cypher, we know that Yampy does absolute bits the way that Levin's been performing and Sociable on the Sova. And of course, Profek on the Omen usually doesn't let us down, so we'll see.
You know who else do not let us down is our casters. So question for you guys, can BBL close this out and secure those playoffs, or is there more fight in Gentlemates?
Thank you, Kakuka. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on the day. Looking at this squad here, after an OT on map 1, going into their map pick...
Screw your question.
Yeah. I was going to answer it. I was in the middle of answering it. Mates are in a position that I don't think I can count them out. This is their map pick, and they push...
So can BBL win 2-0? Just to answer the question. That was the question.
Because if they win this map, it will be 2-0. So yes, they can.
They can. Will they?
Well, that's for the players to answer.
Dodge it. No, I'm intrigued by the Jet. Levin, I think it was expected. Click is going to try and match him. I think we've seen some high-octane gaming for him, maybe more so in the Tier 2 than we have in the Tier 1. I think he's been a little bit underwhelming at times, so I want to see what Click can offer here.
There you go. Mini's got the highest first blood rating of any non-duelist player. We'll see if that can continue moving through this map.
Because he's always lurking.
Yeah, he was playing the extremities a lot of the time. I'm sure we'll see that here as well. Looking at Levin, talking about opening duels, he participated in 14 opening duels on the last map. There were 26 rounds. That's more than half of the rounds.
Did he win?
He was the guy taking the first. It was half and half, 7-7.
Wow. 7-7 for Levin.
But a lot of... There we go. A lot of that was the openings on the attack side where he lost. I think he was 2-6 coming out of that, so a much better defensive side showing from him. And a chance to get another opening duel on the board. Win or lose, it's up to you. And, well, it's not an opening, but he gets the pick anyways. A close fight for Profek, but Mini's managed to get the better of him, and Levin doesn't last long in the smoke.
Solid work. BBL versus Liquid. Did incredibly well on the defense. A lot of it revolved around aggression, and more so having those retakes in their favor somehow. But this one's actually going very well. Through the smoke, they've managed to pick off 2. Zipan already tagged at least a little bit, and I don't know if they will have seen him already. Kana has retrieved that upgraded pistol, but needs so much more to be found. Tries to be calm, but unfortunately for him, it's Magnum to take home what is now the 3rd of 3 pistols. And I'll be honest, that one is the one Mate should be most disappointed with. Yeah,
it felt like they had that one really very much figured out. You look at the side, it's up, what, a 2v4? They've got a little bit of damage dealt out in the other direction, but the fact that Levin, yeah, he gets one, but Mini with the double openings. The fact he's able to take it up close in the smoke, then BBL walk back in and make it look easy. Individual fights.
Look at Yumpy.
Don't go their way.
Get some nice, well played for the Madison's team.
Well, I think we need to get a better, much more aggressive compressor on Yumpy's.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He is peaking, but maybe he'll do that in the server as well. Had a good map last time, and the energy starting off high.
You turn it up that high, his teammates won't be able to hear him when he talks.
That's true. Well, I think he mostly screams.
Go to this round,
a lot of pistols, a lot of opportunities for Mates as well, and they pick up 2 of those duels. Sight is theirs, and recovering the pistols, recovering the rifles in the other way of this Spectre that's in play, a little bit more difficult, but they get there eventually. The rest of the BBL players too far away to deny, and so a post plant, a weapon recovered, and a chance as they get aggressive, but straight into the waiting arms of Yumpy. And if he was loud before, I think I just heard him get a little bit louder again.
Can I get a bit more soundproofing in my headphones? Because I'm going to hear him over my own thoughts soon.
He is firing up.
You know what? I think it's exactly what they need. We saw it towards the end of the last game. Levin being able to win that clutch, and I'll just mute myself before Yumpy does it for me. Yeah,
Big bump.
No, come on, there's got to be a second one. Oh no, it was too loud to play.
You can hear him through the other. The only way he doesn't peak is if it's in someone else's mic. That's wonderful.
This goes here.
Poor Levin sitting right beside him. They pump white noise in those headsets, but
Find you.
when Yumpy stands up, I'm not sure it helps. Goodness gracious, Tom. Relax. A 2-0 start for BBL, and the buy here is decent. They've got 2 Sheriffs. The rest of the squad packing a punch on Levin and Sociable. A Spectre for Magnum. Mates still need to be careful, and it looks like BBL are taking the fight to them. The biggest weapon they've got, the Guardian, right down the bottom of mid already. A stun lined up off contact to the cam. I love this. It's beautiful to start with, but the stun doesn't ever get fired out. It's a little late.
Even still, an early trade. You might think with the gun being dropped, it's not the best, but in these sort of scenarios, just whittling away at your opponents can do quite a lot. A chance for Sociable. He's going to win that fight. Now, that's actually the lurking jet of Click. Now, the gun's not necessarily going to be retrieved, and what, straight through the smoke. That's a little bit overzealous for Sociable. Maybe trying to get back in just that little bit too quick. Now puts things back to a 3v3 for Mates.
The dropout's dangerous. There's so many players here, and Mini does well to look up above, taking down Yumpy. The easy fights on the player dropping, and Profek left with it all to do. Look at the HP. They're all so desperately low, but coming in from that angle, it's always difficult. Gentlemates, they might be sharing less than 80 HP between them, but they come out with 3 rifles and they win the round. That's all you can ask for.
There were definite opportunities. I think, again, I want to talk about Sociable just wanting almost to be the hero in this round, and I think just overplaying when you already have an advantage.
Nice! Alright, let's go.
Wasn't
the
best move. Seeing if they can now convert back already. Gambling maybe that there'll be some light shields into this round. Levin's gone for the sniper in this scenario. 4 players have bought into heavy shields for the opposing side, so there's only one that will be dead to that first bullet. He's hoping the sun will swing him, but they're being careful with the drone.
TP is not going to be committed on the back of the site. That's a good thing. There were many players ready and waiting. The difference here for Mates versus the last map, you can be much more eager to sell those fakes and to play light on sides of the map later on, filling them in, thanks to the fact that you've got all those traps to work around. Levin with no look, trying to pick them off on the Outlaw, or even deal that damage. Click down to 48. But everybody's facing, barring Mini, and Click, and Zipan actually. It's only Kamek and Kata that can take a blast.
But this pause from Mates doesn't really give the game away. In fact, it baits them into thinking that they're going in the other direction. I think also the cam, there we go, will give them all that they need. Can Magnum actually get this pick off? No, the bullet's completely missing, eventually gets the job done, and now they'll have the info on the B side. But Mates have decided this is the moment to move. This is the moment to try and get into that site, get into the post plant. But with the aftershock going in and Levin still holding that backline, there's nowhere for them to go.
Spike planted.
Plan secured, but yeah, like you said, fully boxed in. They've chosen the better of the 3 options, moving towards just one player. Just Levin. Profek taking some control. That's going to force the movement on the other side. Kamek manages to take him down without a lick of damage, but he's got 4 more coming his way. Try as he might, the shots aren't landing. The big swing coming as all of BBL run into that angle. The defuse found and an immediate response on the round win from Mates.
They played that one very well. I'd always love to see those sort of Cypher trap setups with a stun. Okay, the setup meant nothing because the player, when he swung, wasn't stunned anymore. But then the quick reaction, having that aftershock late into the round for Yumpy to deny the plant, having the cross held by Levin, so someone is forced into that angle eventually. You can't just deny all of that extra space. And then the rest is just about playing your advantages. We talked about the potential of this team when it comes to retakes. Well, it's been 3 plants, and it has been 3 retakes of the rounds that they've won. And unfortunately for Mates, this now puts them in a position financially where they are not in the best position. Hunter's Fury actually could be utilized by Sociable. This has done an awful lot of damage. Kamek almost dead as well. 1 player picked off, and 1, mortally wounded.
It's always something that divides opinions about going for those early Hunter's Furies, but this time, damage undeniable, making it that little bit easier up against the weaker investment, and with the rifle down, the easy follow-up, Levin has secured this round. A little bit of help from his friends. It's an in-zone flawless and a 4-1 start. Remember on the last map, over on Lotus, BBL had a phenomenal beginning on their attack side. They built up a lot of rounds, but Gentlemates were able to sweep their way right back into things. It was wasn't it 7-5 by the end of the half after a 7-2 beginning? So there's no room to take your foot off the gas. And coming into the bye round from Gentlemates, they've called a timeout.
Yeah, I think a lot of it did turn with a pause as well, to giving an opportunity for the coaching staff to sort of talk things through with the team. I think that, again, they're sort of struggling with the same sort of aggression they had to deal with on the previous map. It's when you play into these 3-site maps, there's a lot of ground that can be pressured. And I think Levin is the main culprit of willing to sort of take that control away. And it also seems like they're super comfortable with just leaving Magnum to, at least on this map, hold down an awful lot of ground. Like we've seen it with his A-site setup. Basically just having Yumpy as backup to sort of set up a stun wherever he needs it. I think this is where I've actually enjoyed most of Yumpy becoming an IGL, is when he's on a breach. Because I think with the breach, he can literally just react off the calls of his teammates. I just go, okay, you are getting pressured here. I'm going to put this stun through. I'm going to put this flash through. I'm going to have the aftershock for delay. He can still almost direct the round from positions where he's not that guy who dashes in with a shotgun anymore.
We see that a lot. Think back to Malzy as well. He has good performances throughout the season. Put him on a breach. It's not just a different game for the team, but also for him individually as well. And we saw that
deadlock. I'll give his deadlock credit as well.
His deadlock, I think, is one that you have to look a little closer at the impact it's having round on round. But the breach is, it's obvious even to the layman. For Gentlemates, decent investment. Exactly. That's why I notice it. For Click, one away from the Blade Storm. He is the player with the weaker weapon in this round. Still the man leading the charge in a lot of these fights. He's the guy going first to take that duel. And yeah, Yumpy, breach,
going around the
support,
world.
The guy that's going to be usually not taking the opening duels. And he thought he was Levin this round.
He forgot for a second. Had a flashback to running in with a judge on Jet. I'm glad we're not back in those days, if I'm honest. A much slower, more patient round. Now, Click needs either an orb or a kill. That's why he's on the pistol. Blade Storm is one away. You can expect to see him dash into the angle, and they've claimed full control of Long, but it has been very passive. Most teams will battle tooth and nail to try and get control of A main and deny that portion of the map. BBL have not been doing that. They have left the Cypher setup. They've sit pretty, and that's the spike, by the way.
Yeah, that's the info for sure. Full commitment from Mate seems to follow that spike right into the A side. Blade Storm looking to pick up a few as it's Kamek to draw blood, rifles in hand. Down goes Kata, the swing and the smoke, not working out. With Sociable on the other side and picking up 3 as his classic comes out to close the round. That was Mates with an attempt to fight their way back in early, but they have been denied on their own map pick. They're starting 5-1 down.
Yeah, that just looked so rough. Like, Zipan, unaware of an angle that has been utilized since the dawn of time. Like, I don't think it could really be that surprising. And especially going alone with the spike. I think he fired out a shock dart somewhere in there, maybe looking for a deep trip that's been placed, but instead just gives away that spike, and then the team has to react because there's going to be the full rotation from everybody on the BBL side.
Watching Yumpy and Magnum is like watching Milan and Pipson back in the day. One guy losing his mind, the other calm as a cucumber. Levin, oh, he's in trouble. He's got players all around him, and he will be dropped in the end. And the shock dart trade out, Yumpy up close. They know where he is, but they found out anyways. A double from behind, and the round back in BBL's hands again. Magnum coming in to save the day as Kamek falls, and Zipan has it all to do. For a moment, a brief moment, it looked like Levin going down, and the kills that could follow may just have turned the tide back into Mate's favor on a low buy. Instead, well, it looks like Mates will get a plant on Zipan, a post-plant Hunter's Fury as well.
They'll get the info
but with 41 HP, Tom, it's not looking very likely that he can take down Yumpy, Sociable, and Magnum. Oh, and he's even been spotted.
This would have to be a huge error. The Hunter's Fury is nice, but if there's more than one player alive, it's going to be very difficult to isolate. looking to wrap on him all together, and well, eventually Sociable gets the freeze kill of his entire career. 6-1. I'd say what we saw there from BBL was a bit more audacious than I would have liked versus an eco. Like, just running at their opponents. But I think that almost comes with the territory. Like, you've got this youngster who can take over games, who can basically farm opponents if put into the right positions. He's going to do some batshit crazy stuff. And sometimes it's going to look like that. But they recover anyway. 6-1 lead. We haven't really seen much from Mates, if I'm honest, since the pistol round. That was probably the one that slipped away from them. I'm waiting to see if this jet was really worthwhile.
I'm really enjoying Yumpy on a breach. Oh my goodness. Well, Levin doing his best Yumpy impression. He's gone aggressive.
That would have been 2 for 1 if the Click didn't get that kill.
It could have been. But what could have been for Mates, they'll be thankful that it isn't. A 5 versus 4. Levin in the dirt already. But the push up from Magnum has blown this round wide open. Kamix, he's gone down as well. They've been pushed on both extremities and lost the fight on each side.
Still going.
Relax.
I think this has just become pure disrespect. We're watching a game of TDM at the moment. Just everybody pressuring across the map. You've got a player in spawn in the form of Magnum. You've got deep control as well from Yumpy. They don't even really need to play this aggressively either because they have Rolling Thunder available for a retake if they need it. I wonder if there's just going to be an attempt to try and find a pick-off contact for Sociable, or if he's literally just looking to hold on to ground.
Yeah, especially with that Hunter's Fury just one away. Good chance if he finds one that this round is already done.
Oh, no.
But it's the flank from Magnum. They're not even looking. And they turn to see him at just the last moment. Now they're looking the wrong way when Sociable peaks. Being played like a fiddle. And it's only one left. It's Click, and he is boxed in on another level.
Okay.
One found, 20 seconds. Spike needs to be planted. Or all of these players need to be dropped. And Profek, patient as always. He spotted him running up the ramp, and he'll take him down from behind. 7-1. Gentlemates, they are 1 foot in the grave right now, considering this is elimination on the line, and it's BBL shoveling the dirt in on top.
Getting flashbacks to their 18-16 defeat to Foot, where they had a really close map. They had a huge comeback. They looked fantastic all up until the point where they lost. They go into the next map and they get battered. And it was just a game where it really seemed like they looked very, very good until that sort of long match, and then they just, 13-4, they got destroyed. So I am starting to get very nervous that's a repeat of things. A map where they could have won it on their opponent's choice, they go into their own choice, and they're 7-1 down.
This timeout, again, keeping you up to date with how many we've got left. It is just one. The last one for Gentlemates called here and now. BBL still sitting pretty with 2 to fall back on. You look back at the previous map, it was the same scenario. 7-2 was the score that they were looking at when BBL pushed up to this point, but that's where Gentlemates put their foot down. They said no more. This timeout looking to do exactly the same. They come in, the possibility of a decent investment. A Hunter's Fury online for them as well. That's great, Tom. But then you look at the ults on the other side. It's going to be very obvious when we get back to the in-game HUD. A lot of glowing orbs over there. BBL have no shortage of options. A double outlaw investment from the defensive side. I think you had my curiosity.
But they've got so much in terms of credits. They're going into the next round, they'll have a full buy and the next round, and maybe even the next round after that. So they're just throwing these in to be disruptive. Gambling that their opponents might have light shields, which, well, they are 80% correct. It's only Click that has the heavy shield. So this is basically a 2-shot operator.
It's a really nice investment. And Levin, well, he can fall back onto his Blade Storm if he needs to. Both shots fired out, but he gets aggressive, hoping that could be their trigger point. Hunter's Fury, it's good again! He keeps doing this! How? The blind Hunter's Furies, and they keep hitting their mark. Zipan down to half, 45 HP, no shields. And then that's gonna make it so much more difficult for anyone else. Click down to 48 as well. And that blind might have landed, but while they're looking forward, it's the player behind them they should be worried about. Blade Storm for the double, Rolling Thunder. that got them the end zone flawless, and 8-1 on the board. Keep in mind, mates call a timeout. They planned that round out meticulously, and to get blind Hunter's Fury, the only thing you could say is, well, at least they wasted a lot of their ults, Tom.
Yeah, I don't think they care. Like, this was just a moment of the Hunter's Fury. That's twice now where that Hunter's Fury is not completely blind. It's off Levin's contact. It's basically Levin sees players and goes, get him. They're right there. And then Sociable also puts a blind blast in a completely different direction and hits Zipan, who might be the most cursed player in the universe right now. But the Rolling Thunder, just to push them into Levin, just allow him to farm up those extra kills. Doesn't get much better than that. It's completely reset the economy of mates as well. They are sat down with just pistols once again. That's why they did it. It's not just a 1 round, but this is a potential for them to get to 9 on their defensive half.
The ult economy trade-off for the round win, for the economy advantage as well. Yumpy getting one with utility. And mates yet to land a shot. There's 2 though. Now, it seems like they're in a little bit of trouble. Yumpy able to land 1, but caught out. And a 2 versus 3 that they're left in. BBL facing their first real struggle, the retake onto this site. No real impactful utility to help them, and with Profek in his shadow form, no chance of a trade on Magnum. A 1v3 needed. And keep in mind, like we said, mates had a resurgence towards the end of the first half of Lotus. That got them the opportunity to at least push to OT. The same could be happening here.
Yeah, a pay save card thrifty is what returns mates to the board. You got to hope for their sake that that is the confidence builder. A round they never should have had, a round that ultimately, in comparison to many of the streak of BBL, was without guns, and they're able to get things over the line. Maybe a little bit overzealous from BBL, but that's been their whole game plan. Be disruptive, be aggressive, be in the face of their opponents. Sociable, by the way, 14-3. Has been having an absurd game. A few of those were even with his Hunter's Furies, players he couldn't see.
I mean, you see players tagged by a drone and it can be hard to connect those kills, but doing it off minimap with this level of success is damn impressive for BBL. They've hit a roadblock. Mates put up a round. 8-4 still possible. The Gentlemate side, that they can aim for nothing less at this point. The A site, perhaps they're reading into it as a weakness, leaving Mini to lurk the rest of the map with the trap behind. They keep the map control. And like we said, this is somewhere that we can see because of the comp. They're not running in one direction and leaving the rest of the map wide open. Mini's lurks alongside his utility give them these options to fall back into space that they're reasonably sure is still theirs late round. Shock Dart going through. We've seen this a lot. That's going to delete the trap and take some of that security out of the minds of BBL as they can easily lose the B site to a walk-up now. Playing heavier on the A side has its weaknesses when those traps fall. But unfortunately, Tom, that heavy A site is about to be pushed into.
Yeah, the info picked up. Hunter's Fury utilized. Levin's going to try and sit within the corner. He's managed to dodge them, managed to get behind, but it's only going to be the 1. Spike dropped to the deck, and Profek just watching on the cross. I don't know if they even realize that he's here. He's managed to sneak into this position, and if they try and walk forward, it could be a problem. Mini is waiting for, but that's a spike down again. A second time that it's been dropped, and Sociable's done it. That should be the round done. It just has to be sprinted for by Mini, and all the Sociable needs to do is just buy enough time to stun. I don't even think he's got this. No. It won't matter anyway.
The jump there. The jump as the stun came in, it cost him the opportunity to plant, but even then, the kills were going to be found no matter what. Yumpy hiding down in the sewers, playing the time, knowing that they could bring it across the line, and being starved. Being starved of time like that, it's a hell of a way to lose a round, especially now 9-2 down. This was Mate's chance to fight their way back in. But they have been buried that little bit deeper, elimination in the back of their minds, and slowly coming to reality in front of them. BBL looks set to not just qualify themselves, but bring Foot and KC with them. Just a few rounds in between them. 1 left in the half.
Could be a sigh of relief for the squads left to play. But also after having that Turkish derby at the end, didn't want to leave it all down to that. Even still, we've seen this squad fight back. Click with a solid pick, but already the opener going in the other direction. The right click not so forgiving at times. Kamik has done well. A quiet performance from him so far. An uncharacteristic one on a map that's been his favorite, but maybe this could be his round. Even still, though. Oh, he's going to get picked off. Sociable is just on fire right now.
His utility, his ults, shock darts through the wall. He's grabbing them to reveal, helping him along the way. His whole kit. He's making Sova look like a duelist now, Tom, and it's been a while since we've seen that level of success, that consistency from Sociable. What a time to come online like this. Double digits as we close out the half. BBL inches away from qualification.
Yeah, it was a fantastic half of play from them. They are close to that qualification for them and their buddies, but there's still another half to go. Mates need to break back.
Out of charges.
Mates looking like a ship without a rudder when it comes to this first half. 2 rounds on the board, dotted throughout that first half. We saw them come back on the previous map, but it happened before the end of the first half, and BBL were not this close to closing it out. Moving into the attack, just 3 rounds needed. The hope for Mates seems to be running thin, but we've seen comebacks from crazier score lines, not by much. And with elimination on the line, who knows if Mates can find that extra motivation to dig deep.
They're unlucky. They've come into a day where Sociable is in God mode. And I think we've seen him, in terms of peak, have some of the highest peak of anyone in the league. If he kept it up consistently, we might be talking about him as the best player in the world. It just doesn't happen every map. But he has been truly unbelievable. Now, well, it seems like BBL are walking into a trap. They have won every single pistol, even from a 2 versus 4 in the last. Already seeing a multitude. That's 11 gone. Not a bad start, but the trades are coming back thick and fast. 3 to 3. Rotation coming in for support, but Mini's taken a lot of damage. Dipan's done well. His 2nd kill, I believe, in the map so far. Really rough series for him so far, but still a chance to wake up.
Now, Mates have come back, flooding into that B site, but BBL seem to be looking to take this elsewhere. A trap and a cam in their way. But Mates haven't got the read on time. Pacing here for BBL might get them a plant. I don't see a stun online for Kamik. I see a flash, but he goes swinging. He's made a mistake. But luckily, it's not punished too heavily. Sociable, the man of the hour. The one being delivering. He's got a shock dart and you're low. Run the hell away. His utility is hit every single time, but look at this. He's not content to just play that position. He could have planted, but instead he goes pushing deep into the spawn and realizes they've gone running. They've taken this elsewhere, and I think he'll put 2 and 2 together and realize they're wrapping around on long. Instead, he's going to go to the A site, a narrow margin. If they'd ran here, they'd be crazy. And he realizes that he should have a free plant with a shock dart still online. And so, look, 35 HP combined, Tom.
He could right-click, kill them both.
Exactly.
Oh, and he's got it spot on where they're going. I don't know if he will have heard any steps, but getting into this close corner, it's going to make things so much more awkward. If they don't clear this, he's dead for sure. Mini, round the corner he goes, a chance for him. Damn them both! And that's exactly what Sociable does a Red Bull clutch for BBL. That's 4 for 4 in pistols.
Well, you said they were unlucky facing this squad when Sociable's on God mode, and it's not changed coming into the second half. 21-4 at the moment. When you add Magnum and Yumpy on a tear together, and they only barely match up, but with a hell of a lot more deaths, that is a hell of a statement from this man. You talk about young Turkish duelists, well, he's one of those things. He's certainly a strong duelist indeed. Oh, for Mates, that's 1 foot in the grave, and they've just put the second in on top of it. The casket soon to be closed. Their playoffs dreams fading to nothingness.
Oh, hello. I think if you told Gentlemates at the start of the season that a 28-year-old making his debut in the league would be absolutely farming them, I'd say, well, Bosa's having a good game. But no, it really is a ridiculous performance. Someone that I think was maybe a bit of a gamble for BBL to bring in, but someone who has been delivering when they need him the most. A post plant. Of course, they've gone heavier on the rifles. The conversion here is more important than economy or anything else. And for Mates, this is a full investment. This is not an eco. This is not a save. This is everything they've got.
Yeah, they can't afford to allow 12 on the board, but on the retake, they meet Sociable again. The fight not going their way as he picks them off 1 by 1, and a 3-piece Sociable. He's not taking his foot off the gas. It's pedal to the metal, and 12-2. One of the next 10 rounds will be enough to end Gentlemate's dreams of playoffs. And what a way to do it, Tom. You'd think, looking at the scores of these maps, that Lotus was Mate's pick. A map that BBL don't play at all. But they come into Haven. Mates think they can bounce back. Oh my goodness. I think we're using the crowd mics to pick up Yumpy on a reasonable decibel.
Nobody wants to get Def and Click getting aggressive, and he's met with Levin. He tried to go toe-to-toe with the Turkish Jet, and unfortunately, that has not gone his way. The players within the site, I'll be honest, there's no better way to put it, they are having a howler. Zipan has been wrecked. Guess what? He's been caught. Kamek is gone as well. And for Mini and Kata, a 2v5 retake with weak weaponry. I don't know how Mini's won that kill from there, but it's at least the smallest bit of hope.
Mates have got to be traumatized by that Hunter's Fury. Every time you hear it, there's bodies on the floor. And another put to bed by Sociable. That's it. 13-2. A dominant conclusion from BBL. They come in and cause chaos, making this series their kingdom in the promised land of playoffs, where they're heading. For Mates, that's elimination. Bitter as it tastes, they'll wait for the next stage while KC and Foot celebrate in the stands.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate to go out with a whimper. I think we've seen from Gentlemates kicking things off with a victory versus Liquid. The hopes were high. I think we saw Kamek definitely make his mark, but over the last couple of series, they definitely went that little bit more quiet. And I think there's work to be done, but they still have time to get ready. Of course, another week to be played, but that playoffs is now locked in. In fact, both groups, have got those 4 teams. It's just the order, and that order is, in fact, incredibly important, but we won't talk about that now. The important thing for BBL is their first time in front of the crowd is a victory, and in map number 2, it was dominant.
Well, we've seen Yumpy play it up to the crowd, to empty seats. Now he gets to do it to a full house, singing his name and the name of his team, Sociable, with one hell of a performance. They got the stands full as they head to playoffs, where they'll get to see that a few more times. A team that came in with question marks around how they would perform, whether they would be the team that was promised, and with last-minute changes, we were promised Chihuahua, we end up with Magnum. No doubt a strong player, but making those adjustments last minute, it always causes hiccups. For BBL, they've come out looking stronger.